Well, welcome, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday, June 1st, 2024, and welcome to the Brazuca F1E Racing League. I am your host, Sterling C. Beard. Today we're going to be racing in Portugal. We've got a one-shot qualifier with 33 laps on the back end of it. So we'll see everybody begin their driving here in just a moment as the game finishes connecting. There we go. Here we are watching Soldierman Assault. Remember, this is a one-shot qualifier, so of course, all racers are in their own local instances of the track. So we watch Soldierman Assault here in the Gender Reveal Special. I call it that because it is a... Oh, he's not in the Gender Reveal Special this week. Whereabouts is the Gender Reveal Special, I wonder? Ah, there it is. It's being driven by Iceman Los this week. And I call it that because it's got the blue and pink color scheme. We'll go ahead and get our menu set up here. Details, tires, telemetry enabled, lap data enabled, track map, the full track map. And as we track here, of course, everyone beginning with soft tires, which you would expect in a one-shot qualifier, especially in this kind of race. Getting a starting grid position that's up at the front, very important because we only have 9 racers here today. So I would expect, I'm not really certain what to expect. I feel like every time I've said something on, I'd expect XYZ, the game is very good at throwing curveballs at us, but we do see here, as Iceman Los almost fishtails there, coming around, heading towards the end of the track. We should expect to see most people finishing, so there we go. Pedro Proenza 31 with a lap time of 1:17.156. Finishes with the fastest time thus far. Several other people less than 2 seconds behind him. And we see Joni Happy being disqualified from the session here. All right, here we go. So, Pedro Proenza for Team Red Bull in first with a 1:17.156. Woo! Very close behind. Lucas Seek just 99 hundredths of a second, basically, or 101 seconds. My word. Very, very close. No, I was right. 99 100ths of a second behind. Pedro Proenza was Lucas Seek, followed by Hiram Pelosi, Soldierman Assault, Martins Carlos in 5th. Rick Zhu in 6th, Rick Zhao in 6th, 7th Tariel, 8th Joni Happy, and 9th Iceman Los. DSQ'd are both Joni Happy and Iceman Los, so unfortunately it looks like we won't be seeing them race today. All right, now we've got a relatively short race today. 33 laps, I believe, was the number. So with that, I would expect to see most drivers maybe sitting with, given that the weather's clear, probably rolling with medium tires to start out with, shifting, holding on to those for as long as they can, and then maybe pitting and shifting to soft tires. We may get the AWS pop-up here talking about tire strategy. One moment as we pause, as we wait for the racers to take their places. All right. Here we go. The grid lined up and starting. All right. Rick Zhao overtakes Johnny Happy coming out of the early gate. Tariel passing, and we've already got a caution flag out in Sector 1. Joni Happy dropping to 9th. Iceman Los moves up to 8th. Here we go. We're watching Pedro Provenza. Everyone in pretty close on him right now. Joni Happy, the furthest behind. No, excuse me, Ice Vanlos. I'm guessing a penalty, perhaps. Furthest behind 5 seconds. And I was wrong. It looks like it's 33 laps multiplied by 2. So we've got 66 laps, unless the game is glitching out on me, giving me an improper view of things. Not much movement here in the early going. We can see Ice Vanlos and Joni Happy flying through Sector 2, trying desperately to catch up. The rest of the pack, however, pretty compacted, looking a little bit like a snake or some sort of enemy you fight in Space Invaders on the minimap there. And here we go, heading into the end of the first lap. We still have Pedro Provenza, fastest lap, 1:22.613, about 5 seconds slower than his qualifying time. And of course, that difference coming about probably because we've got other racers on the course, and Pedro Provenza now no longer has to worry about just getting the fastest time. He's got to fight off people like Lucas Sick, who's just 0.3 seconds behind him. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick at the back of the pack here. Joni Happy we see in 9th. 8th place currently focused is Soldier One Assault. Just ahead of him is Ice Vanlos in the gender reveal special. So pretty high speeds here. Of course, some hairpin turns, but racers handling them fairly well today, especially given that the track is dry. It's bright and sunny out, unlike how it is in my real-world location in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex here in the United States, where it is drizzly. It's still pretty warm, but we've got overcast skies, so it's nice to get a view into sun-kissed Portugal today. Our Brazilian racers perhaps feeling a bit of an ancestral kin. Here we go, possible race strategies. Laps 20 or 32s, going soft, soft, medium, or medium, soft, soft, medium. So, like I was predicting, or I think I was predicting a little bit, starting out medium, and as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and I will get the details set up here. All right, let's look at our tires right now. Pedro Provenza, most people opting for soft tires here in the early going, the exceptions being Lucas Seek and Rick Jow and Soldier One Assault. Now, Hiram Pelosi passes Lucas Seek in second and third place. Let's take a look at that battle going on here. Hiram Pelosi already trying to stretch out a little bit in front of Lucas. Lucas falling behind 1.6, almost 1.8 seconds behind there, and climbing. So Hiram Pelosi putting the hammer down, trying to get some distance between himself and third place Lucas Seek. Of course, Hiram about 2.8 seconds behind Pedro Provenza and holding relatively steady there, but he's got eyes on him. You can see him when he crests the top of these hills. Even if he is a little bit in the distance, it's not too far. Here in the early going, we're seeing maybe a little bit more action in the middle of the pack. We see Lucas Sick. We do have a caution flag out in Sector 1. Lucas Sick, Rick Jow trading places. All right, we do have a 3-second time penalty on Joni Happy for multiple warnings here on lap 4. But nobody way back in the back either. Everybody is still relatively compact as a pack here. Tahariel overtakes Lucas Sick, moving into 5th place. Lucas drops back to 6th. Pedro Proenza still up in first by about 3.8 seconds, trailing him Hiram Pelosi. In third, Martins Carlos, 5.1 seconds behind Hiram. Not much to yap about here, folks. We're still very early in the race, only lap 5 out of 66 of all possible laps, but I believe the league does prefer to try to time things so that it takes about an hour of actual race time. So that's what we're going to be experiencing here today. Now we're beginning to see the pack spread out a good amount here, as everybody's now in Sector 1, although we do see Pedro Proenza rapidly moving through Sector 2. That's the interesting thing about this track here in Portugal. Little fishtail there from Rick Jow. That's the interesting thing about this track here in Portugal is how much of it is composed of long straight sections followed by immediate hairpin turns. So racers can open it up, but only for a few seconds. But by the same token, they're not having to constantly dart in and out of corners. So I don't know exactly how people are going to be handling this one today. Look at that gorgeous, gorgeous Portuguese countryside in the background there. Pedro Proenza now about 5.7 seconds ahead of second place Hiram Pelosi. Hiram about 6.3 seconds ahead of Martins Carlos, who leads Rick Jow by 2, Ice Banlos by 4, Tario by 0.6, Soldier with Assault by 0.8, Joni Happy by 2 or 3 seconds, almost on the nose, leading Lucas Sick in 9th place with 8 seconds behind 8th place Joni Happy. We do, however, see Pedro Proenza now slapped with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. So some aggressive driving here today by Pedro, and he's earned himself a caution flag, or penalty flag, rather. Well, we can see a little bit of a battle in the middle of the pack right now as Ice Manlos works to hold off charges from Tariel and Soldier One Assault. Just a line of blue cars here as they head through the finish line as we are on lap 9. We can see Ice Manlos still trying to hold off Tariel and Soldier One Assault, not really opening up a wide lead on any of them. Tariel about 0.6 seconds behind Ice Manlos. Soldier One Assault about 1.8 seconds behind Tariel. Of course, Ice Manlos himself trailing Rick Zhao by about 3.2 seconds. Pedro Proenza all by himself at this point, 10.3 seconds ahead of second place Hiron Pelosi, as we are on lap 10, midway through lap 10. Not much in the way of position changes here. We may be in for well, watch me curse myself with this, but we may be in for a bit of a long race today, as we are 1/6 of the way through 11 laps in. Rather apropos that as I am sitting here broadcasting this race, that I get an email from Park Mobile, which is an app about parking and reserving parking spots and paying for said parking spots. So, guh. Well, we are on lap 12. Still no lead changes. I'll let everybody know if something interesting happens. We'll go ahead and check back on the middle of the pack here. We're going to follow Rick Zhao for a while from the broadcast camera, driving the Mario Brothers mobile. I say that because it's Italian. Well, lap 14. Still nothing going on. I don't think we've had any position changes for a good 7 or 8 minutes now. We do see Tario kind of slip sliding a little bit in Sector 1 on that first hairpin or second hairpin turn. But other than that, folks, not much shaking. Hiram Pelosi trails Pedro Proenza by 15 seconds. As a matter of fact, Pedro Proenza on that straightaway in Sector 1 heading into that first turn, building up a massive lead, perhaps insurmountable, but of course, we're only 30, 45, 60. We're only a hair under a quarter of the way done with the race, so lots of racing left to be done. Notably, nobody has taken a pit stop yet. Nobody's swapped out tires. Nothing doing there. Everybody, the whole pack's kind of disarrayed at this point. Everybody's at different points on the track. Now we do have in 9th place Lucas Sick. Pedro Proenza still a fair ways behind him, but making good progress. We might see Pedro lap Lucas here on lap 16, or perhaps next lap. That will be lap 16. So we shall see. Joni Happy, however, retiring from the session, DNFing. That means we have 8 racers left. Lucas Sick will finish at least 8th then, assuming, of course, that he does finish. Now, I do see it's a DNF. I don't think there was any catastrophic damage or a collision. There's no caution flags out. Nothing crazy's going on. No safety car or anything like that. But I do think we are going to see... well, heck, what are we going to see? We've seen a for the most part, clean race today. A few caution flags, a few penalty flags. Nothing crazy, though. Let's check back in on Pedro Proenza in the Red Bull car today. Moving his way through Sector 2. All right, well, it looks like Lucas Sick putting a little bit of distance, perhaps, between himself and Pedro Proenza. Maybe trying to open up a little bit of a lead. We'll see. Joni Happy has left the session, so Joni Happy did not finish today, unfortunately. But we do have the rest of our racers. Pedro Proenza swinging wide there in Sector 1. Now keeping it between the lines here a little bit later. So Pedro driving very aggressively today, using the soft tires to maximum advantage, trying to take these turns as fast as he can. And so far, it's been paying off. He's got a 16-second lead over Hiram Pelosi, who's also using soft tires, but I guess perhaps not driving quite as aggressively. He's looking to push that to about 17 seconds if he can. Well, we're lap 18, so almost a third of the way done with the race. Still no position change. It's been like that for a little while now, but we do see Pedro starting to come up on Lucas. The question's going to be, is he going to be able to lap? So we see Lucas there as we shift to the first person perspective for Pedro. Lucas getting into that turn. Let's see, why is the, that's odd, TV pod, telemetry should be enabled. I don't know why it wasn't. 36 seconds on this lap so far for Pedro. Stalking Lucas Sick. As a matter of fact, of course, when you lap somebody in F123 or get close to it, their car goes translucent and all of the collision is disabled, making it easier to pass somebody, and you don't have the risk of somebody maybe vengefully slamming into someone else. Not that I'm saying, of course, that Lucas or Pedro would do that, but things happen, and racing is a difficult sport. Although Lucas doing well to battle and try to keep Pedro from lapping him, but Pedro does successfully lap. So we see Pedro now trying to open up a little bit of a lead, really wearing on those soft tires. We're on lap 18, heading now into lap 19, and we see soft tires still for Pedro Proenza. Our first pit of the days, however, have been Martins Carlos, who shifted to a soft tire, and Iceman Los also on soft tires. So some racers, I think, may be looking to jockey for position in the upcoming laps. I don't think they're going to be able to ride those tires for another, 47 laps. That seems unlikely to me. But, Snifty, I think I just now realized that if I look at the lap data in the upper right-hand corner of the map, when somebody finishes out a sector, we get a time. And I'm not sure if that's versus the fastest time in that sector or their previous lap pace. But we'll see. So Hiram Pelosi now about 19 seconds behind Pedro Proenza. And we have Soldier One Assault 14 seconds behind. Rick Zhao just 0.8 seconds behind Soldier One Assault, looking to move up into third place, get on the podium. Of course, 46 laps left to go, plenty of racing time. As we see Rick Zhao riding that inside curve, looking to get the best possible racing line. Rick Zhao plus 1.559. I believe that has to be the sector time. Versus maybe the fastest lap. I didn't catch what his lap time was. Tariel, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings here. So we check in on Tariel. Tariel, of course, in 5th place behind Rick Zhao and Soldier One Assault. Now about 8 seconds behind, however. This is our closest two racers of the day at the moment, Rick Zhao and Soldier One Assault. Soldier One Assault not having to play super defensively here, but Rick Zhao having trouble closing that last second of distance and making an overtake attempt. But we are about to head into Sector 1 here momentarily. That's straight away at the end of Sector 3 through the finish line into the middle of Sector 1. So we will see if Rick Zhao does make a move coming up here. Riding the edge a little bit is Rick Zhao. In 7th gear, let's see if he opens it up. Does he put in some overtake? Overtake is in for Rick Zhao. Trying to draft a little bit in. I think I just got a, we see Hiram Pelosi is pitting, as is Tariel. Very tight now behind Soldier One Assault is Rick Zhao. We do have a penalty flag out for Pedro Parenza, who is pitting, shifting to soft tires again. I believe Pedro has not used anything other than soft tires, but he still, despite taking that pit stop, maintains a 12-second lead over second place Rick Zhao, who did just overtake Soldier One Assault, but is now 12 and a half seconds behind Pedro Parenza, running on 20 laps on medium tires, as is Soldier One Assault. So I apologize, I did switch to Pedro Parenza real quick to see how he was doing with his pit change, or his pit stop, but now we see Rick Zhao has successfully overtaken Soldier One Assault, moving from third into second place. And now we see Soldier One Assault choosing to pit. Rick Zhao still on medium tires, 21 seconds, so he'll be able to open up a bit of a lead here. Hiram Pelosi overtaking Soldier One Assault. So Rick Zhao now 15 seconds instead in front of Hiram Pelosi. Martins Carlos also passes Soldier One Assault. Soldier One Assault has gone from, in the span of about a lap, from second to sixth place here. Lots of ground to make up. Pedro Parenza 16 seconds ahead of second place Rick Zhao. Now we do see Pedro Parenza passing Lucas Seek again. So getting back over on the lapped portion of it here after that pit stop. Pedro Parenza now with the fastest lap of the day of 1:20.742. So Pedro has got to be feeling good about where he sits in this race. 23 laps in, meaning over a third of the way done. 18 seconds ahead of second place. Nothing too wild going on. Comfortable using soft tires on a fresh set. He may just use 3 soft tires. I don't know why, other than logistical considerations, he would have to use anything other than soft tires going forward. But that may have been key to Pedro's racing here today, treating the whole thing like it's a sprint. The weather is clear. I'm not sure if the game gives you a forecast or not, but the weather is clear. There's no rain. The track is divine. So it's great racing weather here. Nobody in a position where they're going to have to take an inordinate number of pits. Rick Zhao now switching to mediums after 23 laps, maybe looking to go another 23, get up into the 40s, and switch to soft tires for the ending dash. But Pedro, having opened with soft tires, sticking with soft tires, and may still stick with soft tires later in the race. Pedro Parenza now about 23 seconds ahead. Rick Zhao, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Well, again, folks, not too terrible much going on here. Everybody's at least 1.5 seconds ahead or so of their nearest racer. So I will pause here for a moment while I get a refreshment. Well, folks, we are on lap 29 out of 30. No position changes in a good long while now. Hiram Pelosi trails Pedro Proenzo by 27.5 seconds. Martins Carlos trails Hiram by 6.9. Ice Manlos by 2.9. Rick Jow trails Ice Manlos by 15.3. Soldierman Assault 1.2. Tariel 6.9. Lucas Sick by a minute 22. And yes, you heard that right. A minute 22 seconds behind 7th place Tariel. We do have a little bit of a battle here for 5th place. Soldierman Assault running hard tires now, the only person in the entire field to be doing so. 8 laps in on those suckers. About 0.2 seconds behind 5th place Rick Chow, 7 laps in on medium tires. So we're seeing here now from the first person perspective of Soldierman Assault as he tries to make a move on the Mario Brothers mobile here with the Blue Flash, or the Blue Marvel. I don't really know what to call this particular Williams racing car. Is that the gender reveal special? It is not the gender reveal special. Okay, the Williams car is not the gender reveal special. Good to know. All right, here we go. Makes the overtake. Right-hand side, we do have a 3-second time penalty on Rick Chow, Tahariel, Hiram Pelosi, multiple warnings. Pedro Lorenza also with the 3-second time penalty. Oh, my goodness. Dangerous move by Rick Chow, slicing out in front of Soldierman Assault. Now, that might have just been what appeared to be lag. He did kind of hurt jerk all over the place there. Soldierman Assault reclaims 5th place. Rick Chow trailing now by 0.2 seconds. Yeah, I think that might have been lag. It probably did not look near. It probably was not nearly as dangerous as it apparently looked to me. Still, wild moment there in the middle of the pack in 5th place. Ice Vanlos also about 1.4 seconds behind Martins Carlos. So we've got a Carlos chasing a Carlos, or a Carlos leading a Carlos, if you prefer. Of course, Ice Vanlos today driving the gender reveal special. Flying through the turns here in Sector 1. Overtake now in for Ice Vanlos, about 1.1 seconds behind. Iceman still trailing a little bit here. Again, about 1.2 seconds. But I think this is kind of indicative here as we are at the 50% point, halfway done with this race, 33 laps in. Very static today. Not much in the way of collisions. Of course, we've got a relatively small field, just 8 racers left, but we aren't seeing too much in the way of chaos, which, well, it's probably more enjoyable to race. I'm not able to call as much action simply because there isn't as much action. So I do apologize that I'm not super active on the calls this afternoon. But again, not a lot going on here necessarily. All right, now we do have a little bit, of course I cursed myself. The safety car is out this lap. So lap 34, Hiram Pelosi taking the opportunity to pit, moving from medium tires to medium tires. Pedro Proenza, the safety car here, going to be in front of Pedro Proenza, and we'll see the pack sort of collapse today for the first time. I'm not sure what caused the safety car. We don't have anybody who's not, everybody is save for Joni Happy still in the race here. So I'm not sure what the issue was, but we are now seeing Iceman Los pitting and going to hard tires. The only other person in the field with those on is Soldier One Assault. But we've got the safety car out as we see Pedro Proenza trailing it. Of course, he's been so far ahead for so long. Other racers not having an opportunity to catch up. Hiram Pelosi, however, swiftly moving around the course, looking to get back into position. Excuse me, that's Martins Carlos, his Red Bull teammate. Okay, looks like the safety car is going to be in for another lap here. We'll see just how much this pack can sort of compact down. Of course, we've got the first 4 racers, I think. That might be the first 3 racers. 1, 2, 3. The first 3 racers, Pedro Proenza, Martins Carlos, and Hiram Pelosi, all packed in there pretty good. Of course, not far behind is Iceman Los. I think we are seeing Tariel. No, Tariel's pitting. That's why it was showing him off to the side. That's a little pit road there is the white, so that makes a bit more sense. right, so let's see if the safety car remains in after this lap. I believe it goes away at this point. No, it's still out. Okay, we're really going to get everybody packed in tight for this. So lap 36 out of 66. 30 more laps to go. We're on the back end of the race at this point. The entire pack has successfully compacted. Although technically it says Lucas 6 still about a minute 27 behind Rick Chow. All right, safety car is out. Pedro Lorenzo is still in first, Martins Carlos second, Hiram Pelosi third, Ice Manlos fourth, Soldierman Assault fifth, Tariel sixth, Rick Chow seventh, Lucas Seek eighth, 2 minutes behind. So here we go. Now we've got a little more of a race going on. Now we do have plenty of penalty flags out currently. Martins Carlos, the only, we do see Hiram Pelosi overtaking Martins Carlos as racers are flying around that first section in Sector 1. Even Lucas Seek is there, although that is, of course, because he's been lapped. He is transparent and doesn't have any collision going on. We do have a caution flag in Sector 1. Oh, a little bit of a bump there in the back. I didn't quite catch what happened there, but I caught two cars bumping into each other and kind of flying off at opposite ends of the freeway. I think Tariel might have gotten bumped by somebody. I'm not sure who. If I saw that properly, I'm not sure how exactly that happened though. Rick Chow in third here as we watch him 0.7 seconds behind Soldier One Assault, who's less than a second behind Martins Carlos. I believe this is the first time we've seen Martins Carlos up in first place all day. Pedro Lorenzo now back in fourth. Let's see if Pedro is able to claw back the lead here as we are on lap 37 out of 66. Inside overtake by Ice Manlos. Smooth move by the former Abilene High Eagle. So we'll see Ice Manlos, and now Pedro being overtaken by Hiram Pelosi. Pedro 16 laps in on those soft tires. Martins Carlos also 20 laps in on his tires. He is choosing to pit at this point, falling all the way back to 7th place. So I'm beginning to wonder maybe if 17 laps in on soft tires, that is by far the highest number of laps on any set of tires in the course today right now for Pedro Lorenzo. I'm sorry, did I see somebody? No, okay, I did not. I thought I saw somebody spun out in the infield here. I did not. But yeah, and now Pedro's going to be overtaken by Tariel. Pedro fighting back on the left inside, not able to get it, however. Tariel overtakes Pedro Lorenzo successfully. 17 laps in again on those tires. Everybody else, I'm looking at this field. 4 laps soft, 4 laps hard, 4 laps hard, 4 laps medium, 3 laps hard, 0 laps medium, 12 laps soft. So Pedro Lorenzo and Lucas are the only people rolling with soft tires right now. Of course, what is Pedro going to do at this point? Because that leaves open the question. If it had not been for the safety car, he would be cruising right now. He'd be in a situation where he could maybe switch to another set of soft tires in the back, 15, 20 laps of the course, rack up an insurmountable lead. DRS now enabled. Rack up an insurmountable lead and cruise to a finish. However, he's now in 6th out of 8 active racers. So it will be interesting to see if he chooses to pit at some point, or what he chooses to switch to when he does pit. Up the front, Soldier One Assault. So we've seen now, I'm reminded of that old saying, what is it? There are weeks where decades happen and then decades where weeks happen. That's a little bit how it is can be here in the Brazuca F1E Racing League. You can go about 20 laps with not that much changing, the race being fairly static, but one safety car is all it takes, and it's like playing Yahtzee. Everything gets jumbled up and thrown about. And now we have a much different looking field than we did even just 15 minutes ago. Soldier One Assault leads, 5 laps in on soft tires. Rick Zhao second, Ice Manlos third. Strong showing today from Ice Manlos. Hiram Pelosi fourth, Tariel fifth. Pedro Parenza 6th, Martins Carlos 7th, 8th is Lucas Seek, who has clawed back to within under a minute of Martins Carlos. Got the overtake in here for Ice Manlos, trying to speed up and grab a little bit of space. Nicely handled on these early turns by Ice Manlos, making a very strong play to catch up to Rick Zhao. Now just 1.3 seconds behind. So Ice Manlos not willing to say die here, although he's getting challenged on his left side by Hiram Pelosi, who passes him, cuts him off on the inside of the turn here in early sector 2. So strong move by Hiram Pelosi there. Hiram now trails Rick Zhao. Rick Zhao trails Soldier One Assault by about 4 seconds. Ice Manlos makes a move here on Hiram Pelosi, overtakes, successfully reclaiming 3rd place. And again, just 1 second behind Rick Zhao at this point. So penalty flags are out everywhere right now. Overtake is in for Ice Manlos here. About 0.7 seconds behind Rick Zhao. Now Rick Zhao did get a warning penalty there, or penalty flag there, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And maybe not happy with the way he cornered on that. Ice Manlos gaining slightly, now down to just 0.3 seconds behind. It's a little hard to tell sometimes with the lag because I see cars kind of jerk all over the place. Ice Manlos looks like he might be positioning to make a move. It'll be hard to do here coming into the turn in Sector 2. course, Ice Vanlos himself also having to play defense and offense simultaneously with Hiram Pelosi right behind him. He makes a move, however, on the left-hand side of Rick Jow. Successfully overtakes, but Rick Jow jumps back out in front. So caution out in Sector 2. And we do have a problem with Hiram Pelosi, who spun out, it looks like, or otherwise had a collision of some sort. I did not see him touch anyone. I think it was just a difficulty with steering. All right, DRS enabled, overtakes in. He slips to the left. Ice Vanlos now in second place again, flying right past Rick Jow. So Rick Jow over the line a little bit there, but again, I think that was just lag and snapback netcode. So Ice Vanlos, now that he's got the open road in front of him, 7 seconds flat behind Soldierman Assault. Oh, a tap from behind there by Rick Jow. Rick Jow also kind of spun out a little bit. No change of position. Ice Vanlos, however, back in, getting his nose pointed the right direction, slamming the accelerator. Now 1.5 seconds ahead of Rick Jow. Stretching it to 2 seconds already. Ice Vanlos not wanting an opportunity to go to waste here. Trying to put as much distance as he can between him and Rick Jow, his closest competitor. We'll see. 9.8 seconds behind Soldierman Assault is Ice Vanlos. So Soldierman Assault cruising comfortably here in the blue streak for Williams Racing. Soldierman Assault looks like 0.76 behind his best lap time, or fastest time. Again, I'm not sure if that's which of those that is. So we are going to see, it looks like Soldierman Assault maybe lap Lucas Seek. Lucas Seek about 43 seconds behind Pedro Parenza, who is now himself 16 seconds or 17 seconds behind Martins Carlos. Race control, Rick Jow, 5-second penalty for corner cutting. And Rick Jow is going to DNF. That's going to do it today for Rick Jow. So Hiram Pelosi, everyone else moving up. We now have 7 racers active. So Ice Vanlos is nearest competitor now. 3rd place, Hiram Pelosi. 4th place, Tahariel, 4 seconds behind Hiram Pelosi. Martins Carlos, 5.7 seconds behind Tahariel. Pedro Parenza, 29 seconds. Lucas Seek, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Pedro Parenza moves into 6th, and Lucas Seek will eventually move into 7th place. That's our 2nd DNF of the day. Joni Happy being the first much earlier in the race. Rick Jow here on lap 44, it looks like, DNFing. Maybe 43. I didn't quite catch where he was in the race when it happened. But that's the way the field sits right now. So I do notice that we do not have a safety car out. We don't have a virtual safety car either. So I think that just maybe, I don't know exactly how the rules work, but it is wild to me thinking about how 2 weeks ago when everybody was getting penalty flags left and right, it was unclear to me exactly how the winner was going to be determined, and the field kept rapidly shifting just due to the fact that so many people had so many penalty flags. Nobody, however, is singing smooth operator, so that's no time penalty for that particular act. All right, now that our field has dropped to 7 competitors, it is still relatively static. Ice Vanlos remains about 11 seconds behind Soldier with Assault. Hiram Pelosi, 2.2 seconds behind Iceman. Tariel, 7 seconds behind Hiram. Martins Carlos, 3.3 behind Tariel. Pedro Provenza, 58 seconds behind Martins Carlos. Lucas Sick, 20 seconds behind Pedro Provenza. We do have a 3-second time penalty on Martins Carlos for multiple warnings. We do have a fastest lap time today, however. That goes to Lucas Sick at a 1:18.970. I believe our previous fastest time was a 1:20 or so. So Lucas Sick now only 10 seconds behind Pedro Provenza. Pedro having some trouble here in 6th place. Lucas Sick making some ground. Let's flip on over to Lucas and see how things are proceeding for our 7th place racer here. He's not that far behind him. Of course, 8.6 seconds now. Lucas apparently finding a little bit of a groove here late in the race. Still going to be about a minute and 5 seconds behind 5th place Martins Carlos, but Lucas making a respectable showing here despite getting lapped earlier. Pulling it back, taking advantage of the fact that so many people, that the whole pack got crunched up earlier with the safety car. He's now on soft tires, so he's maybe driving a little more daredevil than he was earlier. And he's going to make a move on the outside, it looks like. Although he is translucent at the moment, so no worries about a collision here for Lucas. And he does actually mention pass. It looked like, I think that was Pedro Provenza. No, that was not Pedro Provenza. I'm sorry. Who the heck did he pass? It looks like he passed Hiram Pelosi. Excuse me, he passed Hiram Pelosi, who of course lapped him earlier. So I do apologize. All right, Lucas now looking to unlap Ice Manlos, it appears. Ice Manlos about 9.8 seconds behind Soldier with Assault. All right, lap 52 out of 66, just 14 more laps to go. We're tracking now Ice Manlos again, 10.1 seconds behind Soldier One Assault. Working on hard tires, he may be able to get through just with hard tires. Of course, those are the most long-lived tires. He may not have to pit again. Hiram Pelosi right behind him, also 18 laps in, but on medium tires. Looking for that overtake. We'll see if those 18 laps are going to be enough to hold, but no guarantee of that, of course. Now we see, of course, the majority of the field, save for Soldier One Assault and Ice Manlos, has penalty flags out at this point. Ice Manlos himself right now fighting off another surge from Hiram Pelosi, who just refuses to quit. passing attempt right-hand side for Hiram Pelosi. It succeeds. Ice Manlos, however, looks to cut him up on the inside, barely makes the cutoff. Swaps positions, now dodges back to the inside, working into the straightaway here in Sector 2. Hiram Pelosi and Ice Manlos avoiding a collision again. Overtake already in for Ice Manlos. Ten laps left to go. The race is almost over. 22 laps in on the hard tires for Ice Manlos, 22 laps in on the medium tires for Hiram Pelosi. Soldier Wood Assault, 23 laps in, but it's on soft tires. And there's 9 more laps to go. The question is, are those soft tires going to hold for Soldier Wood Assault? He's got a 10-second lead. I don't know if he has time to pit. I rather doubt it, in fact. As we can see, Soldier Wood Assault here taking the curve in the Rolex curve in turn 2. Eight laps to go. Still no real changes. Hiram Pelosi now 2 seconds ahead of Ice Manlos. Martins Carlos 7.5 seconds behind Ice Manlos. Tariel 12 seconds behind Martins Carlos. Lucas Seek 57 seconds behind Tariel. Pedro Parenza 25 seconds behind Lucas Seek. So Lucas Seek will not be finishing last today, it looks like, if the current standings hold. An impressive showing to claw back from getting lapped earlier by Lucas Seek. Well, 6 laps left to go. Same as before. Soldier with Assault, Hiram Pelosi, Ice Vanlos, Martins Carlos, Tahario, Lucas Sick, and Pedro Provenza. That rounds out our field. Well, 4 laps to go here. Soldier with Assault still in the lead, 28 laps in on those soft tires. You got to be wondering if you're Soldier with Assault. You'll notice Hiram Pelosi now just 0.9 seconds behind, considerably having closed the gap. So let's go ahead and we'll take a first-person look here at Hiram Pelosi. 28 laps in. Was it too long? Can Soldier with Assault hang on for another 4 laps using the soft tires? We'll see, my friends. It's going to be close regardless. There we go. Hiram Pelosi 1.2 seconds behind Soldier One Assault. Ice Vanlos 3.7 seconds behind as we head into lap 63. 3 laps left. 29 laps in on the top 3 racers' sets of tires. We've got Soldier One Assault in first with soft. Hiram Pelosi a 3-second time penalty. That could be crucial. Ice Vanlos just 3.8 seconds behind currently. Soldier with Assault 29 laps in on soft tires. Hiram Pelosi 29 laps medium tires. Ice Vanlos 29 laps hard tires. Now obviously you want to be up front. You want to be the leader of the pack, but if you are those 3 racers, you've got to be a bit more secure in how your car is going to handle those last 3 laps if you're Hiram Pelosi or Ice Vanlos. Hiram Pelosi now pushing in tight on Soldier with Assault, coming right into his bumper area, makes an overtake move on the left side, passes. Hiram Pelosi takes first place. Soldier with Assault now 0.4 seconds behind. Hiram Pelosi putting the hammer down, maybe trying to get a little more space in between here. Ice Vanlos 3.2 seconds behind Soldier with Assault. So very tight race here at the end for the top 3. We can see from the first-person perspective of Ice Vanlos, Soldier with Assault, we see him blinking in and out of our field of view here. Ice Vanlos, however, closing it down a little bit, 2.8 seconds, 2.9, I stand corrected. Here we go, here's the straightaway. Is Ice Vanlos going to get some overtake in? Does not look like it. He's in 8th gear, but not able to slam the pedal to the metal. 3.1 seconds behind, so Soldier with Assault and Hiram Pelosi, we see here from the first-person view of Soldier with Assault, trying to catch back up to Hiram Pelosi, but Hiram's tires better condition right now. 1.9 seconds, 2 seconds, 2.1 seconds, 2.3 seconds, 2.1. So Soldier One Assault, obviously a skilled driver, but is it going to be enough? There's 2 laps left, so a decent amount of the race left to go, but it's going to be tight. Ice Vanlos, of course, not far behind Soldier One Assault himself. 1.8 seconds, 1.7. Trying to close that gap with Soldier One Assault. He may be able to do it. Martins Carlos 5 seconds behind Ice Vanlos, but he's 26 laps in on medium tires. Tahariel 20 seconds behind here. 20 seconds behind Martins Carlos, I should say. Interesting behavior there from Hiron. Skipped into the left infield for a split second there with his left tires, but doesn't appear to have slowed him down significantly. Ice Vanlos making the play here, 1.7 seconds behind. All right, takes that first turn, takes the second turn, shifts all the way down to first gear. And he's got a little overtake in. He's not that far behind now, beneath the second, 0.8 seconds behind heading into Rolex Hill. 65 seconds left to go, or 65 laps in now. One more lap, we're coming up on the final. It looks like Hiram Pelosi may be getting a little bit of an extended lead here now. Soldier One Assault 3.8 seconds, 4 seconds behind Hiram Pelosi. If you're Ice Vanlos or Soldier One Assault, you're just praying that something happens that gives you a shot, a chance, anything to try to catch up to Hiram right now, who heading into the straightaway to kick off our final lap has what appears to be a commanding interval of 3.7 seconds. All right, DRS and overtake in here for Ice Vanlos, trying to catch up, trying to make Soldier One Assault sweat a little bit. 0.3 seconds behind, so he may be able to overtake. We'll see. Whoa, narrowly misses a collision there, but sees an opportunity, goes outside here in Sector 1, overtakes. So Ice Vanlos successfully overtakes, and now it is a question of, can Ice Vanlos catch Hiram Pelosi, or will he just have to settle for defending against Soldier One Assault? So Hybrid Pelosi now 4.7 seconds ahead of Ice Vanlos, swapping through the turns in Sector 2. But of course, you know, I've seen racers before who I thought had first place locked up into the final lap. So some high drama here. 4.5 seconds now behind. He's got to make a move here. He's got to get it. Got to catch up, because if he doesn't, we're going to head into that straightaway, and it's highly unlikely he'll be able to close the gap. 4.6 seconds here. Middle of Sector 3, just barely seeing Hiron's taillights there. Maybe at the, and he's out of vision currently. And here we go. It's going to be in first place, Hiram Pelosi, finishing today 33 laps on those medium tires. Second place, Ice Vanlos. Third place is going to be Soldier One Assault, bringing out the top 3. Martins Carlos 4th, currently Tariel's 5th, Pedro Perenza 6th, Lucas Seek 7th. So Tariel now working to get a 5th place finish. And he doesn't have to sweat too much. Pedro Perenza 10 seconds behind him as he flies through that last turn of Sector 3, getting in a little overtake. There we go, and that'll finish it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it today, our final, with Hiram Pelosi making a strong play on those medium tires, those very hot medium tires, late in the race to take it. Driver of the day, however, goes to Ice Vanlos. I think Lucas Sick might have still kept the fastest lap. So a pretty clean race today, aside from one safety car out there, but a fun race nevertheless. There we go. Actually, technically, it looks like Ice Manlos will finish first today without any penalties. That gives him a two-stop coming out of ninth place to win today's Ice Manlos. 25 points. Looks like no penalty flags on him. Amazing showing by Ice Manlos here today to take the victory. Second place, Soldier One Assault gets 18 points. Ice Manlos 25. So a fantastic showing for Ice Manlos. Hiram Pelosi third, despite finishing crossing the finish line first. Just 3 time penalties of 9 seconds. That was the difference maker there. Put him 4 seconds behind Ice Manlos' 93.39.786. Fourth place, Martins Carlos. Fifth place, Tariel. Sixth place, Pedro Parenza. Seventh place, Lucas Sick. Our DNFs today, Rick Chow and Joni Happy. So my goodness, but everybody walks away today with points who finished, including Lucas Sick getting 7 points. So excellent job today by our racers. A lot of fun. Let's see if we are going to be able to get a quick interview with some of our racers over Discord. I believe we may be able to talk to Ice Manlos if he is available. We'll go ahead and jump into the Brazuca F1 E-Racing League and head over to the voice chat channel, and we'll see if we are able to get him in here. Let me unmute the tab. Well, congratulations, Mr. Ice Manlos. How does it feel winning today's race?
Oh my God, dude. I don't know how to explain it, man. It was a crazy race. You saw it from the lap one incident. Got shunted, ended up in the back, and then we had a safety car situation come up, and we just happened to switch the strategy up and go for the hard tires because we knew we were going to go a little bit longer than we expected and not pit again for the rest of the race. But
Yeah.
man, everybody had a great race. Everybody did a fantastic job out there. Every contender out there put it out there on the line.
Absolutely. And yeah, I got to say, I noticed that you were riding those hard tires for damn near a third of the race. Not many other people choosing to make that kind of a switch. Because what was your mindset going into today? Because obviously you started in ninth place on the grid, you finish in first place, and through the last few laps, were you aware of how much time penalties everybody else had had? What was your mindset? Were you thinking, I've got to drive clean and I've just got to get across the finish line? Or were you still trying to make that first place? What was your mindset?
Absolutely, keeping it clean was the first thing foremost. Not have any penalties and bring the car home first and foremost, and get maximum points. But honestly, I really didn't feel comfortable going into qualifying. Obviously, I had a disqualification because I went over track limits. But I mean, to come from the back of the field to first place, I mean, you can't ask for nothing better than that. Honestly, I feel like this is probably one of the best races I've ever ran in my career, and let alone an entire full race distance.
66 laps, of course, that's not a sprint. That is a marathon. And it requires a lot of mental fortitude, especially when you start out the day having not being able to fully qualify.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You just got to stay focused, keep your head down, and just try to not make any mistakes, and just take every opportunity possible that's out there for you on the track, and just try to keep it clean. And
Absolutely.
that's what every guy on the track did today. It was a little hard with all the penalties, but everybody did a fantastic job.
Absolutely. So the clean sheet brings it home for Ice Manlos. Congratulations once again, and thank you again for joining me, everybody. My name is Sterling C. Beard. This has been a broadcast of the Brazuca F1 E-Racing League. Have a good, blessed rest of your summer. Good night, good luck, God bless, and sleep well.
Thanks, appreciate it, man. You did a fantastic job, man.